Good morning, everyone. Thank you. My name is Dr. Obioma Elemba. I am a finance professional with over 23 years experience and counting in a financial institution. I'm happily married. My beautiful wife is here, and we have beautiful children. So today, I'll be leading the conversation beyond bank accounts. So in our conversation, I will look at the reality, the why, and then going beyond. So we start. I've been working in the bank most of my adult life. And in my experience, I can say that most people, most businesses operate one form of bank account or the other. I can actually say that everyone in our audience operates one form of bank account or the other. But despite the size of the bank account or balance sheet for organization, most people still struggle financially. That's the reality. And so, the reason behind this struggle is a relationship between the human mind and economic realities. So, a cycle of debt, overspending, and financial instability seem to be what plays on in the mind of people, leading to their behaviors subconsciously and psychologically as well. And so, I grew up in an environment where my parents were both teachers, civil servants, and basically living from paycheck to paycheck. And so their form of investment was basically training the children to be successful so that the children will eventually take care of them. And there was no much investment beyond when they grew up. And thank God, today my mother is 84 years, and relatively I can say that I'm successful taking care of her. And so many times I will ask her, Mama, what happened? I mean, what would have been the case eventually if I didn't get successful? What would have become, your lot at this age? Anyway, beyond also waiting on the government to pay her pensions. And trust me, in 2024, her pension is about 14,000 naira. So ignorance then about my children will take care of me. And also my dad, God bless his soul. He wasn't so lucky to live to this day because he passed on at age 50. I remember observing him always talking big, like, I'm gonna make it. Then he used to play pools betting, what we know today as sports betting. And he will come and tell us that I'm gonna make it big. In fact, I'm gonna buy a big car. Then the biggest car of the day was a Mercedes Concorde. He will tell us that he will make it, and beyond observing little winnings in some week and in some week huge losses, he never really made it till he passed on. And then the environment, the community I grew up, there was so much bias. Anyone that is seen to be wealthy or doing good financially is looked at as doing something shady, like being a fraudster or 419 or probably a ritualist. And then there's always this religious belief that if you want to make heaven, you're not going to be rich. And so some of these beliefs basically was a big barrier. And so also this discussion about about money and wealth were with so much fear in the sense that money was seen as one strange thing, and you have to do so many complex things to be able to be rich. So discussions about money always stresses out everyone, and somehow growing up it was like self-esteem was very, very low. Like you've been condemned to just live an average life. And so that's basically the background growing up. And fast forward, finally getting to university, finished my university education, and then started working in the bank. And so that's how my journey of empowerment, probably to get to know, what to do to break these barriers. Because the barrier behind the human mind, where a lot of psychology, a lot of subconscious beliefs, and then so much about behavior. And so I started learning. I started the process of learning. I was like, I need to move forward from the barriers that's been holding me. And so I started reading. I started being voracious. I want to learn, I want to know more. And at the time, my salary was about 14,000 a month. That was my starting salary in the bank at the time. And in the course of my reading and learning, I wanted to make my first 1 million naira. It was like, how do I make my first 1 million? The ideas keep coming. My mind keep being opened as I read, especially financial things. I remember I would go to a bookstore to look for a book, and the titles that will interest me are titles about millionaire, anything millionaire, And so I kept reading and opening my mind, and it didn't take long. My freedom started to show. I made my first 1 million, and so that was a motivation. Up to this day, I am still on a quest for learning. In fact, across all my social media handles, everyone I follow, all the professionals, so anytime they post, I learn. Anytime they post, I learn from their insights. You'll be very surprised the amount of resources that are available if only we will start learning. There are a lot of podcasts, that talk about, understanding of money and finances. And truly, that is a very good starting point on a journey of being borderless. Again, also, I keep getting better and better. And if you remember, in the last few years, there has been this advent of Ponzi scheme all over the place. You see a lot of people coming, proposing investments that will yield monthly returns way, way above the economic average. Let me give you an instance. If economically the rate of returns on investments monthly, let's say fixed income, is like 10 to 12%. You see, these guys propose 45%, 50% flat. And trust me, because I was already informed, I engaged them like, no, this is not possible. This is not gonna work. And so most of my colleagues, most of my family members, most people I know were not so lucky because they did not know. And they entered into these investments, and trust me, most of them lost their life savings. So a lifelong of learning definitely opens ideas to actually know what happens, and then decisions to make concerning investments turn out to be very good ones. Then setting goals I must also say here that I am kind of so blessed working in the bank where we set a lot of goals and monitor goals and then add more goals, add more targets, and then somehow it has helped me on setting goals. I'm always setting goals for myself. In fact, I talked about the goal of achieving my first 1 million, and after that, I have goals to be better looking, good physical health. I've not always been looking this trim, and so with the goal of doing 2,000 steps a day to 5,000 steps to 8,000, now I try to cross 10,000, and then creating more streams of income. That's my goal. I want to, in fact, I saw a write-up that the average millionaire must have at least 7 streams of income. Millionaire here, I know, you'll be talking, is it naira? No, maybe in dollars. The average millionaire in dollar have at least 7 streams of income. And so, in setting goals, I've also come to know that we actually activate the reticular activating system, RAS, in our bodies. The reticular activating system is a network of neurons in the brain stem that actually gives us action. So when goals are set with clarity, you put your RAS to work. Everyone has this neuron in us, but most people, because of lack of goal setting, only utilize that active part that tells you when to wake up and when to sleep or when to eat food. Beyond that. And so setting clear goals ensures that you put your reticular activating system to work to be able to help you focus, directing you to the tools and resources that will ensure the goals are achieved. Then, budgeting. Again, also, this is another advantage I have working in the bank, because in the bank, we start up with budgets of what we have to achieve. So a budget helps us basically to have a holistic view of our total earnings in a month, and then work around our resources so as to ensure that we are able to pay all our bills and still have savings, because it's actually in savings that you can use to achieve your goals. So me, basically, it's always been my strategy to save 30% of my monthly income, which eventually will be turned into investments. And so for people that are running businesses of our own, it's very, very important that we try to pay ourselves. My experience relating to so many business people actually gave me the understanding that most business people do not pay themselves. And so with a good, clear budget, working around paying yourself 30%, 35% of your earnings, then the rest can now be used to manage other things, that you need to take care of so as to be able to achieve your dream to live a borderless life. Investments. So, truly, realistically, living a borderless life is actually all encapsulated in what we do with our investments. Because doing a normal regular job where you are always assured, like at the end of the month, you have this fixed income. But truly, when you invest, there's no limit to what you can get. That's actually the summary of a borderless life. And when we talk about investment, I'm always being guided to invest in several sectors so that one sector must be doing well at any point in time. You know, there are so many investment arms, like fixed income investments. We talk about the treasury bills. We talk about investment in real estate, in passive income, in companies through their stocks. You know, recently, a lot of financial institutions have been raising public offers. You know, so those are very veritable sources of investing to ensure that your tomorrow definitely counts. And so investment actually is not a one-off thing. A lot of people believe like it's a dash. I love the Olympics. You know, in the Olympic history, part of my favorite sports is the marathon, the long distance, you know, activities. So a lot of people see investment as a dash, like a 100-minute dash, like less than 10 seconds you've done. No, investments to achieve borderless life, it's a journey that you keep doing. So to ensure that tomorrow comes very strong. Self-care. You know, we have this popular saying that health is wealth. It's much more emphasized here. There's a level and limit that you can get to a borderless life without a healthy body. And it doesn't take so much. Regular visits to the hospital, to a doctor, exercising better, eating healthier, resting. Because a healthy body houses a healthy mind, and healthy mind boosts energy levels to be productive. Frugality. This is basically giving attention or priority to needs over wants. A lot of people in the world we live now always want to be trending. So most people that are wealthy today, before they even get to that level, they've actually mastered this priority setting of living below their means. Personally, I love designer things, but I rather would wait until they're on sales before I have them. And so, in concluding, I would encourage that, you know, you do or start a process of lifelong learning that gives a lot of age, then goal setting goals, clear goals, and working and focusing to get them achieved. And of course, budget. You need to monitor how your money is being spent, and you need to stay healthy. You need to invest, and then you need to live a life of frugality. Thank you for listening.